Welcome to this month's episode of Three Dudes Brews. Three Dudes Brews is our liquid journey into crafted deliciousness. It's an appreciation of the various craft styles through our own perspectives of taste and a celebration of the good people who bring it to us. My name is Buddy Thayer, and happy to welcome you on this incredible journey. We crossed. Thank you, Ed. We crossed the sea current. We braved the George Washington Bridge, and we're here. Joining me on this epic journey, the Greekiest man I know, down the other end of the table there, Costas Sankaroli. Welcome to the show, dude.
Yasu and Yamas, everybody. And to my left, we have none other than the great Dr. Ed, Dr. Feelgood.
Dr. Feelgood. Yes, guys.
Yes.
Always listen to you, doctor. So how's everybody doing out there? Today, we are here at Crook Point Brewery over in East Providence. Like Costa said, we all managed to get the hell over the bridge in one piece and not kill each other. So we are here today with
It was
Ernie.
close.
Yeah. And Ernie's, like I say, is, man, thanks for having us, so we appreciate it so much. And I'm sitting here fidgeting already. I can't help it. I'm just, it'll be all right. Squirrel, shiny squirrel. That's okay. So, and we're here. I mean, Buddy's got questions lined up, I'm sure.
It's a beautiful old building. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the history of this ham factory?
Tell us exactly where this location is.
So we're located in East Providence, Rhode Island. It is like you said, it's an old hammer factory.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a few things since, but that's what it started out as. At a forge in the basement where they made hammers.
Nice.
I've got a couple in the case up front.
Yeah, I took a few pictures.
It's great.
That's cool.
And there's a lot of history in the building. Hammer factory, construction companies, drafting companies. So it's a printing shop when I actually bought the place.
Yes.
And now hopefully this is the last thing it is. It's a brewery.
Exactly. Leave it alone now. I think we've hit perfection.
What took you to this neighborhood again? This culturally rich neighborhood of East Providence.
Right. So nothing glamorous. I'd like to say it was the views and the water, but when it comes down to putting a place like this online, the infrastructure is important. The zoning is important. This is sound nerdy. It's a C5 zone. It's industrial, so you can pretty much put anything here.
Nice.
You're not implicated by any of the things that would detract from getting a permitting in this area.
Mm-hmm.
So
definitely easier.
Yeah.
What's the actual address here?
Yeah. Good question. The actual address is 65-67. It's a multi-unit building, Massasoit Ave. However, the state and much of what it does, after they decided that they would eliminate the Washington Bridge for lack of
intelligence.
Then they decided they were going to rebuild the road out here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And in their infinite wisdom decided to rename the road Waterfront Drive.
Oh.
So now the banks and the mortgage companies all know us as 65 Massasoit. The post office, the city, the tax assessor, the water department all know us as 120, 124 Waterfront.
Oh my God.
That could be confusing.
That's,
So did you have to go back and basically update all your information?
I'm still in the process of doing that. Yeah. But,
good job, Rhode Island.
Yeah, we're business friendly. So
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, it's pretty much par for the course, like Costas was saying. I mean, this state, nothing can ever be easy.
Mm-mm.
And there's more bureaucratic red tape involved with, having to go to the bathroom than there is anything else around here. It's a miracle that anything gets done.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we just heard that, our lovely, lovely roads that grace this fine state of ours is we have like one of the largest budgets for anybody this size. I mean, what was it, $1 billion budget?
Yeah, I think I saw some story that's like $1 billion budget for like road repair and
yet we ranked
infrastructure repair and replacement and stuff like that. And
we ranked first in worst roads.
Worst roads. Yeah, how is that possible?
Yeah. So,
but anyways, that's not what we're here.
Par for the course.
No, for the course.
No. So beer. That's what brings everybody together, brings people together, families together.
And after driving over the bridge, you're going to need beer.
Yeah.
So many beers.
Without a doubt here, dive into the first one. Yes. Let's see what we got. What is this, Ernie?
So the first one you got there is called, the name of the beer is Bascule.
And
right? Yeah, that's a New England IPA.
named for the Bastille Bridge out here. It's been like that since 1976, just
Correct.
frozen. It's that Rhode Island icon.
Yes.
And that's wonderful that you put that into your beer. And
You know what the funny thing is, though, is the George Washington Bridge is demolished, but that son of a bitch is still standing.
still standing there. Yeah,
Right. So, I mean,
you can climb it now.
I had no idea what the name of that bridge was.
Yeah, Bastille.
Buddy's our resident historian over here. So
That's a Basque Bridge.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, I just know about, it's the damn thing that never goes down,
right. The one that's stuck in the air.
Yeah, it's just stuck in the air. Beats
The
me.
bridge that got stuck.
It got stuck. So what led you to beer?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not really sure. I think I was in like maybe high school.
Nice.
Yeah.
Don't underage drink.
Weren't we all?
Yeah. I don't know. Like most people, brewing was just kind of like, hey, what is this all about? I can do this science project, a lot more fun than the science projects I did in high school.
Mhm.
And so, same path as most people, tried it. It was like, yeah, this is a lot of work. It makes a mess, and the beer sucks. Tried it again. The beer was a little better. Walked away from it, came back. Did it again, and then slowly got a little better at home brewing.
Mhm.
But getting into this actual large scale brewery,
Yeah.
I would love to say that like it's my passion and this is what I wanted to do, but it's not kind of how it worked out. I had some real estate. This is a boring story. Let me tell you.
Oh, no, it's a great. Bring it on.
No such thing.
Story. It's
Guys are used to listening to me talk. So, I mean, anybody else is welcome.
So, I mean, I've always worked different things, construction and other jobs, and I had some houses. I'd buy them, and rehab them, hold them as a landlord. Tired of that. Wanted to get out of it and get into like a commercial property. People can't believe it. I tell them, I'm like, this building was going to be CrossFit studio and a yoga studio. Where you're sitting right now is going to be a yoga studio with some spin bikes.
Yep.
On the other side where the tap room is,
Mhm.
it's going to be CrossFit. The plan.
What a waste of a space.
Yeah, the plan was just
Sorry to you, yoga.
Whoa,
Fitness.
I do CrossFit, but go on. I prefer the beer. Go on.
So I'm neither CrossFit or yoga, so I was going to lease it to somebody who wanted to run it.
Mhm.
And then COVID hit when I was in the remodel process, and I had thought about putting a brewery in, but that was kind of like pie in the sky. Hey, this would be great. Wouldn't it be a great idea,
Yeah.
And then you sober up and you're like, no way.
No way. That's a lot of work.
But with COVID, it gave me the time to sit down and do the research and follow up on financing and what would actually be required.
Mhm.
So it really, I hate to say it benefited me, but it did.
Mhm.
And I was able to, pull financing together, get the licensing and the permitting, everything just sort of fell in place. And then I was like, well, screw it. Let's give it a go.
Yeah.
And you did all of this in the middle of COVID.
Yeah.
Or
That's
like
incredible.
towards the end.
Yeah.
of
No,
COVID.
I baked bread.
I bought the property in 2019. COVID hit that January 2020, I think it was.
Yes.
Right.
And that was when I was in the remodel.
Wow.
So
Yeah, because I think like by March, end of February, beginning of March, maybe I think the world like stopped.
right.
Yeah, like everything's done. We're not.
It actually opened as a brewery, and it was towards the end. It's not the end of COVID, right? It was. How long have you been open?
2 years and 4 months.
Oh, all right.
Nice.
But then the end of November 2023.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
So, like we said, during COVID, I baked bread and you just opened a business, no big deal. I'm going to open a brewery, let's do the digging here. You keep your bread and, I'll take the yeast, I guess.
For sure. Yeah.
So,
Ernie, we have 4 lovely beers here. But you have more than 4 on draft, right? You have quite a few.
Yeah.
Talk about what do you got going on?
So right now, what's not in there is the Two Hammers, which is a double IPA.
Yep. Appropriate name.
Yeah. That plays off of the fact that it's a double IPA, that this was a hammer factory, and in the fact that my father was a contractor. He built houses.
Oh, nice. So you used a lot of hammers, I'm sure.
Yeah. So the Two Hammers represents him and myself. So Two Hammers.
I can't.
And it's a big seller for us. So
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I'm sure.
There's a seltzer out there that's I thought we'd pass on that.
Mm.
And
Thank you.
It's a good seltzer, though.
there's something else, but I have a blonde ale, brandy.
Oh, nice.
It's more like a summer ale, but it's a lighter beer.
Yeah.
So I got that. And then actually the beer that probably my top seller. I can't even keep it on draft. I have to. It's in the tank. It's ready for release probably in a week. It's the Cali. It's a West Coast IPA.
West Coast. Ah, there you go.
And it just crushes everything.
Motorcycles.
It just outsells.
Really?
Awesome.
You know, I'm glad it's not another New England one
Mm.
because it seems like that's everybody's like go-to nowadays is that. But to me, I like a West Coast one better. I think they taste better. That's just me.
They're okay. They do have a different little kick to them, a little snap almost. Ernie, what like guys, what helps you to balance between brewing what's popular and brewing what's like what you want to brew?
Paying the bills.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
No shit.
Yeah.
IPA sells, right?
3-1.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Wow.
Even with a limited amount of taps, I have 8 taps, but I have 3 backup. So
Mhm.
I try to keep 3 IPAs on at all times.
Yep.
But the funny thing is that the next biggest seller is the seltzer.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You guys are one of the biggest seltzer breweries in the state. I want to say you have a wide selection.
Yeah. So when I started, it wasn't really like some epiphany where I was just like, hey, let's do it this way. It had more to do with space.
Mhm.
So my cooler is only so big and I can only hold so many barrels in there. And seltzers are popular. A lot of my friends are like, hey, Ernie, it's not brewing, but I don't like beer. Yuck, I'm like, okay.
Back to that business thing,
Right.
you know.
So,
Excuse me.
and just about everybody comes in and there's somebody that, wants a Bud Light or something like that.
Right.
So I just
And the liquor store is right over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got filtered water out in the lobby. I tell them so. Go.
Yeah. Right.
But so the with the seltzer, it was a lot easier just to brew seltzer, straight seltzer, and then infuse it at the tap. Because if you infuse it at the packaging,
Mhm.
then you've got 300 gallons of watermelon.
Yeah, one kind, right?
Yeah.
With the rest. So I use the same concentrate that you would use to make the seltzer, but I just do it at the tap.
Mhm.
So you do it per glass rather than at 300 gallon ratio.
Well, then if you don't have one that's selling, you're not, sitting on 299 gallons of it.
Yeah.
So,
That's true.
you can adjust the profile because some people come in and they're like, oh, it's really sweet. I don't like it. Okay, well, ahead of time
Less
that
flavor or more.
your 12 ounces is going to be ratioed at 1 pump per 12 ounce,
Mhm.
and you can bring that up. So if they're not happy with it, you can add more to it, and you can blend that. Some people want kiwi banana. All right, good, kiwi banana, both go in.
Yeah.
Right, watermelon, raspberry, they both go in.
Mm.
In the wintertime, you guys had was it? I don't know if it was a apple pie type seltzer, or did you have like a seltzer? Like, did you put cider in a seltzer? I don't remember what it was because I had a few.
Yeah,
And they were delicious. There was a cinnamon stick in there, and all that whatever.
He remembers they kicked his ass.
Yeah,
Well, the thing is, I didn't. Now your seltzer comes in at 10% ABV, correct?
yeah, you're right.
Bam.
Yeah. So that's
seltzer.
now if you think about it, that's more than your typical double or even sometimes a triple IPA.
Right. Yeah, that's
So when you got a 10% seltzer, I wasn't expecting that.
Oh, and it tastes like candy.
Oh yeah, it tasted like candy, and it's 10%. And afterwards, I'm like, this is not a chugger. This is a sipper, and I need to be careful because it tasted so good. It was a great drink.
Yeah. So what we did is recognizing, a couple things about the seltzers being as important as they are to sales, was that people like mixed drinks, and we're able to take the seltzer at 10% and blend it into what you had was the apple cider spritz, and it's cider and it's apple. It's seltzer and apple cider.
And it's delicious.
Right, and it's got like a caramel cinnamon rim.
Oh boy.
And that's our top selling seltzer.
Oh, I bet.
Oh yeah.
Sounds amazing.
I would try that one.
Yeah,
I would try that one. I've got a love-hate thing when it comes to seltzers.
Mhm.
I don't know. That's just some of them are just god awful.
Mhm.
I think the base has to be a tasty base. It can't just be an afterthought, and you're just making it just to like fill a void in the market.
Yeah,
I think you
feel
actually.
like my childhood experience was New York seltzer, and that was terrible. I think it's awful. So now I'm forever like scarred by like New York seltzers. I don't know.
We've got one that's called Raging Bull, and it's blended seltzer, and it's got it's not Raging Bull. It's got Red Bull,
Oh, nice. There you go.
and I'm trying to think. There's one more blend in there that escapes me, but we make probably a half a dozen mixed variations with the seltzer. But
Nice.
that one right there has been on since last summer, and we go through cases of Red Bull every week.
I bet. Damn. I remember
Almost
when
like
they,
a Red Bull and vodka.
well, that's just it. I
Brings
was,
you
I was
back-
just getting ready to say that when some
Brings you back to my
some
30s.
genius had exactly the brainchild of idea of going, hey, let's confuse the shit out of our system with an upper and a
Right.
downer at the same time, you know, and next thing you know, every club in America is selling them and they're going
Yeah.
like crazy, you know, so hey, you got to keep them around. What are you going to do? You can't get rid of it. You know, but I'm glad you said that though, that you're very open about that, about, you know, the fact that yes, it's a business.
Yeah, you're here to make money.
Yes, you need to keep the lights on. You got to keep the doors open. You like what they're doing. You gotta, you know, the devil's got to take his cut.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so I gotta ask though, what? Well, first let's talk about number 2 because I've already been diving into this dark beauty.
I'm eagerly anticipating.
Yes, I couldn't wait. I was like,
Right. So that's the chocolate stout. It's called It's Not Complicated. It's kind of a play on a debate I had with a staff person a while back, and it's got some Madagascar vanilla. There's a lot of chocolate in there, dark chocolate, light chocolate, and it's the second variation I've made of it.
nice.
And it's good. I like it. I
Yeah.
drink a lot of stout.
I like it too.
It does definitely has some
I
charm
mean,
all through it.
Yeah.
so getting back to my question though is what style do you absolutely despise drinking? Like if somebody puts a beer in front of you and it's this, you're going, I think I'm going to the seltzer. I can tell you now, this is fantastic though, while he's sitting here thinking about his answer,
Yeah, no, I think
because I got to put him on the spot.
I can't get. I wouldn't say like a specific. What I tell you is when people start to go off a little and make these one-off beers with too many ingredients.
Mhm.
You know, these I don't know what you want to call them, exploratory beers.
Yep.
Fringe beers, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever you call it. It's for me. Like I'm not a traditionalist. I like to try new things,
Mhm.
variations. But you know, I don't even like a beer with fruit in it. I'm not a blueberry beer guy. I'm not a watermelon beer guy. Like my beer is a beer. You know,
Right.
it's not a punch bowl.
Yeah.
Okay. I would have been that guy like 20 years ago, so I know where you're coming from.
Mm.
But I do love the blueberry wheat. I do love wheat beer, which is
Mhm.
I think it's fantastic. But I respect your opinion,
Yeah,
obviously.
I'm not saying I wouldn't drink it. I'm saying
Mhm.
if you'd asked if they put it in front of you.
Oh yeah,
right.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. It's like, listen,
If you had your choice, it
yeah.
would not be
Yeah.
a fruited beer.
Fruited
It would be something more like a classic, like German style.
Yeah, I would think German. I do like German. I like the Belgians. I'm big fan of like Duvel.
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah. So no Mai Tais. No, this is not. I
So-
did not order this.
What would be your least favorite? You would say it would be the fruited beers.
The fruited.
Fruit or a sour.
Okay.
Okay, so
So-
let's crack it up because yeah, the two of us we do love our sours.
I don't mind them.
Yeah.
Now,
Fruity beers, sour beer. I love all beers.
I was gonna say we love damn near all beers anyway. So
I could do it like this. If I was doing a flight,
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And there's, I mean,
and I'll tell you why. Because the same thing happens with IPAs. People come in and like IPA, you know, they're all bitter.
Yeah.
They say the same thing about sours. They're not all the same.
No.
True.
Very different. And I'm waiting to come across the one that I like. I know eventually I'll hit it, but
It's a vast spectrum for sure.
keep trying.
it is. And I tell people, I'm like, if you put 10 grandmas in a room and tell them each make a lasagna, you're gonna get 10 different lasagnas.
Mhm. For sure.
Yes.
It's the same thing with IPA.
Yeah, definitely.
Some guys will put 10 pounds. And some guys put 1 pound per barrel.
This guy doesn't like Citra at all, but there's the IPA is much more expansive than like the Citra Mosaic combination.
Well, I mean, so that's what we tell everybody. It's like the three of us, we all have different, preferences, different styles,
Yeah.
different tastes, and we all have our go-tos. But you have to try everything because you don't know. I'm not a big saison guy. Most saisons, I do not like them. I found few and far between that I will drink. Few and far between, but that's why you keep trying.
Right.
But I'm definitely right there with you about people like. I like a blueberry. I'll have a blueberry wheat in the summertime. That's fine. But we were someplace where all of a sudden I ordered a blueberry wheat and it came with half a pound of blueberries in the glass. And I'm like, I don't want to be fighting through the fruit to drink my beer,
It's all muddled in there.
Yeah, that's just me. I don't need blueberry skins and everything else in there. I got it. It's a blueberry, guys. You told me it was. You made it, right?
Yeah.
I don't need the extra fruit. Keep it. That's these people that swear by like a lime in their Corona. And I'm like, if somebody shoved it in there, I'm not going to try and fish it out. But, at the same breath, save the fruit for something else. For the margaritas coming later or something. I don't know.
So we talk about things like fruit beer. It's one of those things where I couldn't make a lot of it if I wanted to.
Mhm.
But the infusions we use, I do a load of the Hefeweizen
Yeah.
and the blonde ale,
Oh, nice.
blueberry.
Nice.
We infuse them. People come in and like, can you add fruit to this? I'm like, sure. We mix it with the blueberry, and they love it.
You paid for the beer, man. That's what you want.
And the truth is, if I was making that, I'd be using the same syrups over in the fermentation side, just at a larger scale.
Oh, shit,
Yeah, you'd be surprised. Sometimes it works. Other times it's like, it depends on the product. It depends on the quality of what it is you're starting with. Because, so many places you'll see where they'll either, back sweeten something or they throw in this artificial whatever. And when it's really fake, you can tell. You take a sip and you're like, what Nutra Sweet Sanka concoction is this crap?
Right.
So it's not that it's a crime against humanity, folks. It's just, quality. Start with good ingredients, whatever they are, and go with it.
I don't think we necessarily have the most refined palates, but I would say that we've been to more than one brewery where they make a base, and that can be okay because we were arcane and he had a base and he added different things to it and created something with that. But then just take a base and then just dump sugar syrup in there, and it's really not good. And then you just keep you're doing one base and then you're just adding a whole bunch of sugars to it, or I've had that happen before where it's just like, all right, let's just dump bubble gum or bacon or onion.
Whoa. Bacon. Don't knock bacon.
Bacon can be good, but not the one that I had. I'm not gonna lie. When
try it, Colossus. Keep trying.
Oh, I mean, you tried them because I dumped it on him when
that's usually what we do.
When he had a few and too many and he couldn't taste anything more. It's a buddy pour, so we'll just give it to Buddy and he'll drink it. So he won't remember that this sucks.
No beer ever goes to waste.
No beer wasted here.
Okay, no beer wasted. Either we'll choke it down.
Those poor children in Ethiopia, I just think of them. They're sober and they'd want to enjoy that beer. So I'm doing it for the children.
We're doing it for the kids.
Buddy.
Do it for the kids.
Cheers.
So like I said, it's either we'll force it down and we give it a Buddy.
So
that's how.
What would be your least favorite style and your favorite style of beers to make? Is there anything that you're like, I will absolutely not make this? There's no way that I'm going to do it.
Well, I think I wouldn't make a over the top one-off beer where I'm adding a bunch of adjunct in there that marshmallow and it's great if people want to make those, but to me, I just I don't know what you're making.
Right, like I'm going to be a diabetic after I drink this beer.
I don't really dislike any beer. I just think from the if you're asking me, is it fun? That's not fun.
Right.
All it in there, and because you're almost guaranteed to come out with a product that's going to be marshmallow or banana or whatever that ingredient is.
It's going to be overpowering.
In there, you know what it's going to be. Versus something that has a little bit more finesse to it, and where you're playing with the grains and you're using the actual natural grains to get what you want, and the fermentation to get what you want. It's a little more scientific, and get a little happier when it comes out the way I want it to. Which like the next beer you're gonna do is the Hefeweizen.
Yeah, they've already done.
Probably,
Can't wait.
I'm a wheat beer guy.
Mm.
Probably the best beer I've ever made,
Wow.
right there.
So it's great though you brought that up. It's more, traditional, cooking and baking versus Betty Crocker.
Yeah.
It's not just like a dump cake. We're just, we got 50 pounds of marshmallows and we got some hops and, add water and stir and go. And, so you actually working with things the way they were meant to be originally, which is fine. Listen, we have enough places out there doing marshmallow cake, sprinkled stouts.
Right.
We don't need another one. We just
sweet beers.
Yeah, I mean,
Everything has.
How do I say this? Yes, everything has its place, but if that's your niche, do it and do it well. Do it the best you can. So whatever it is that you're brewing and making, just as long as you're doing it the best you can, that's all we ask. That's all I think anybody can ask for. Maybe whether it's Budweiser or I don't know.
Anyways,
I noticed that one of your pale ales you used was it Huntington Hop Yards? It was a local Cascade. What guides you towards selecting? Like, do you shoot for more local, or do you shoot for what kind of hop you're looking to brew with?
No, that's just that beer was made a while back.
Mm-hmm.
And, it just happened they had the hops and I was making that beer, so it was like, okay, we can go and get hops from them.
Yep.
See, I don't brew as frequently as a lot of breweries because I don't do any distribution.
Yep.
So everything's consumed in house.
Mm-hmm.
So I brew a lot less in terms of time I brew, and a lot less in terms of volume that I brew. I mean, that's changing because now we're going to start canning, so we'll just
really,
and we'll step up. But it just happened. It just I passed across the right time.
Yeah,
nice. Now this lovely little beauty.
Yeah, it's nice.
I have.
This is a great example of some styles that the Hefeweizen. Okay, there's some that I absolutely despise, and some that I absolutely love. This is on the side of absolutely love because this is just balanced. It's got the right notes of everything. Enough, it's got the banana, but it's not where I'm like, because this guy knows I start tasting bananas in my beer and I'm like, I just
bananas or cucumbers or anything like
no cucumber. If this was a cucumber, I'd be like, oh yeah, that was lovely, dainty, and that it would sit there the rest of the time. But this is fantastic. This is it's like you almost pick up like apple in there too. It's like
some people get the apple, some people get the clove.
Yeah. It's good.
You're getting banana, clove, or apple. Yeah, you're getting the taste you should.
Nice.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really good.
Absolutely. So how long has this one been on the menu?
I want to say that came out. If I had that since October.
Since October?
That came out during the Oktoberfest.
Oh my God! Nice. Keep going with this one.
Mm-hmm.
Don't stop.
It's the wheat beers are people who drink wheat beers are wheat beer people.
Mm-hmm.
It's just one of those beers where people don't come in and they don't jump around. They like the wheat beer and they drink the wheat beer.
Sure.
So it kind of like the stouts.
Mm-hmm.
I brew a stout. I'll carry that thing for months because the guy who comes in like once a month always wants the stout. When you don't have it that one time, you're a terrible brewery.
Yeah.
Listen, guys, you can't make everybody happy all the time.
Exactly.
Always IPAs. There's your happy, right? We're making those folks happy. That's all we can do.
But it is nice to walk into a brewery and have a variety of different beer styles to choose from.
Yeah.
Where you walk into some places and they got 10 taps and 8 of them are versions of an IPA. And then you got like a wheat beer and then maybe a stout. Where at least this here, you've got like different styles of beer across your board. So
or they've got the same 6 for the last
decade,
3 years, and nothing's changed at all. So I mean, it's good to have your standbys, your flagships, as everybody calls them nowadays. Your good old standbys. I love that. I think it's a good thing. But in the same breath. It's like, can have something, at least something rotating out, either something seasonal or something new or something, something to change it up, because
Well, I know for me personally, like, following social media, if like, oh my God, there's somebody's releasing something new and it sounds enticing. I want to, head to that location and try that particular beer or style. And then when I get there, I'm not going to just have just that one. I'll be like, okay, I'm going to have this because this is what I wanted to try.
I got your ass in the door.
Yeah, it got me in the door. And I'm also going to try other things. So, that's one marketing, perspective on that, is to say, okay, here's something and come try what we have new and exciting. Whether it's good or not, to be determined, but it gets you in the door. So now, going back to your canning, you said that you guys didn't can previously, but now all of a sudden you're going to start canning your beers or whatever. How did this come about? Like,
So I think I'm probably the only brewery that doesn't can. I mean, I have a countertop canner, but it makes growlers,
Yep.
but they don't can to distribute, and only because to buy a canning line was extremely expensive.
Yeah.
The one I got was like, I think 60,000, cheap.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Oh my God, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. So, with with buying I'm in a little bit different situation. A lot of guys, they lease space and they go in and they open up. But I bought the building, so I have that, and then I have the brewery operation. So two separate businesses going on at once, and so it just couldn't afford to can from day one.
Well, that's a very honest answer.
Yeah.
I don't know
not
why.
everybody, will own up to that. So
Yeah.
it goes to you.
So, but now I was able to, get the funding together, get that, and gonna move that forward now.
Nice. But I mean, 60,000 on the cheap side.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad you decided to hold off and make sure that beers are flowing and everything's still going on. And, so many people, I mean, listen, we all know how hard it is to have a brewery open. I don't have one. These guys don't have one. You do, thank God. But it's like, how many of them do we see open the doors and then they close the doors within the first year, or two, or three, or
relatively
they're
soon after opening.
sometimes I think
The honeymoon fades.
they're well, that yes, the newness wears off,
right?
But some of them, I think they're trying to do too much too soon. So we're gonna spend double that or whatever on a brand new sparkling canning line, and we're gonna have all these awesome labels, and we pay our graphic artist X amount of dollars, and we've got a staff of 20 people and everything else, and I don't know why I'm not making a profit. So yeah, I get it. It's like you said, paths, everything's got to cross at the right time. The stars align. The beer god said yes. Can me.
It's well, the one thing I recognized from the outset was that I wasn't going to be able to do this and sell just beer. Because you can get beer anywhere.
Yeah.
Right.
And there's so many good breweries. Like, I can't think of right in Rhode Island, and they're all not very far apart.
Right.
What are you going to do that's different that you're going to be able to sustain your business?
How are you going to stand out
when you're not?
Yeah.
The past couple of weeks or months when people are just hunkered down at home and they're not coming to the tap room because they just want to sit at home. It's cold, snowy. How are you getting by?
Yeah.
Right.
And it's funny because we've talked to some folks where it's the exact opposite for them, where it's summertime now and everybody's at the beach and nobody's there at all. So, but that seasonality of that whole ebb and flow, we've heard from everybody.
Right.
It's just, okay, we got to get through these next 3 months. This quarter's good. And then after that, we'll be okay. So two things I know I know exactly where he's going with this. So I'll ask my part, and then I'm not going to steal his thunder.
No, not at all. But please.
So what is it about Crook Point that says, come here, don't go there? This is where you want to come. What helps you guys stand out from everybody else?
I think what I hear from the customers when they come in is that they like the environment. I mean,
The
you
atmosphere.
hear this all the time. People,
Yeah.
they're not after the product so much as they're after the experience.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and when they come in, they're not. There's nothing being shoved down their throat. You know, they're not walking into some live music act that's exploding in the place. The people are. It's big enough in here that nobody's on top of them.
Yes.
They walk in, they can sort of stretch out. There's a few breweries right locally within a half a mile from here where a lot of people will come in here and say, I was just over there.
Yeah.
And it was loud. We couldn't talk, couldn't hear each other.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and that's not the environment they want. They want the
Right.
environment that's a little more relaxed. Like, I mean, I didn't.
Low key.
Yeah.
I would say if I had to pick a word, I would say low key.
So what's interesting is we've kind of, as we've evolved, we've seen certain things happen. So that front room, which obviously you can't see on camera, but the Riverside room, we kind of call it the date night room. So what we see is couples in there because there's no music in there.
Mhm.
The speakers are in this room. There's nothing in there. They'll go in there. It's all the small high tops. They'll sit there together quietly.
More intimate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This room in here, larger groups kind of mill around together,
Mhm.
a little bit more, free flowing. The tap room, people are in there. It's loud. It's kind of jumpy. So you have these different spaces where you can go, depending on what mood you're in or who you're with.
Which I think is great because I've been here and I've sat in here. I've sat at the bar
Yep.
and I've sat at the high tops over there, and that's it's loud and there's a lot of hustle and bustle and there's a lot of things going on. And then there are times where it's like, okay, we're gonna have we want beer, but we want to have a quiet conversation and just sit down and relax. And you sit on the comfy couch and you can kind of put your feet up, and it's great. And you could just sit here for hours and just feel almost like you're home.
Mhm.
And as a person who does lots of building stuff or whatever, the woodwork in here is great. It's awesome. It's incredible. So I love everything about this space.
The last time I put my feet up on the bar, I got asked to leave.
Yeah.
I believe it.
So, careful where you're putting your feet up.
Yeah.
Start kicking people's glasses over.
Glasses. What's this, Walter?
So I know what it is.
That's what you've been.
That's what my
That's Mrs. Skipper. That's the Czech Pilsner.
Okay, explain the name though.
So the Dambo Trolls. The Dambo Trolls, right? So the one in East Providence is called Mrs. Skipper.
Oh.
So as soon as it comes out, I had the bright idea of saying, I had this beer coming out. I'm like, let me call this Mrs. Skipper. So it became Mrs. Skipper, and took pictures over there early in the morning with Mrs. Skipper. And
Oh my God.
The beer in our troll.
It's very light and very refreshing. Like this is definitely day drinker.
Yeah, that's just got that smooth finish.
It's beautiful. I love a Czech Pilsner. Why would you? Not why would you, like I'm accusatory or anything. Why pick a Czech over an Italian or German or any other style variation of Pilsner?
Because it tastes like this.
It's amazing. Yeah, amazing.
We already did the Italian.
Yep.
C becomes 4G, so
yeah.
I'm not a fan of Italian Pilsners. I'm not.
We did it just to do it, and I'll be honest with you, it's not at the top of my list. I take the check over it.
There's a notable difference in taste for sure.
Listen, some of them come across as like skunky, too dank, too bitter. My family heritage is Italian and French predominantly, and Peroni in the summertime. Everybody, Peroni gone. No, keep it. No, I don't want it. I don't like it. But this, I love a Czech Pilsner, and this is fantastic, guys.
The one thing I don't have right now is I don't have a lager on, and
wow,
I hear it every day.
When's that lager coming? When's the lager coming?
That leads me to a question: is the people that are requesting a lager, can they tell the difference between a lager and an ale?
I think so. Yeah, some of them are regulars, and I made two. I made a Marzen and there was another lager I made.
That's a good one.
And they were both really popular, and so they know what they're asking for. They've had it before. I really should. The problem is, it's tough for me to keep that flowing all the time. To have one ready to go once one is done.
Yeah.
is difficult to manage.
You constantly be making the same thing over and over.
Yeah, and then I would have to hold it in the tank while I'm waiting for it to empty because I can't package it and store it anywhere. I don't have the storage capacity, so it kind of sits there. So but I think it works better anyway. Goes off the menu for a month or two, comes back on. People are excited to get it back.
Right.
So when's the lager coming?
So what you're saying is you need the people to come here to drink more of it, so that we have
guys.
more storage space.
If you want it faster, drink more beer.
Yes, come here and empty all of the kegs here, so that way he's got more space and we can have more beer.
Yeah, the lager's coming. That's gonna be next up. Actually, the lager and the seltzer. The seltzer's the one that I have to do. That believe it or not, seltzer all the time. I can't let that.
Jeez, no.
Well, I think it's great because I'm a beer drinker and my wife is not. So there are times where like we've gone to breweries and it's just strictly beer. My wife is always looking for something. What about me? I'm not a beer drinker. What are you offering me besides like a yacht club or
concert tickets,
like water? So she's looking for something for herself. So it's nice to have something. And I've been here, and when I am here, usually the tap room, it's a very 50-50 split between men and women. It's not just all guys sitting here crushing beers. There's plenty of women that are coming in and having mixed drinks made with seltzers, and even I've been like, I see the glass, I see the apple cider one, and I'm like, I don't know what it is, but I need to try that. So I'm going to order one. And so I may actually switch from ordering a beer to ordering a mixed cocktail. So
yeah, I'm a sucker for apple pie. So I would, like I said, I would definitely try that one and go with it and see what happens. But we did have some inspiration with the late great Providence Brewing, where they had a lemon meringue seltzer. And we were all sitting around together one day with the owner and brewer, and we were talking about it. And all of a sudden, next thing you know, I'm seeing social media posts, and we were talking. Actually, we were talking like a lemon meringue sour.
Yes, had that a day for years.
So because we're like, nobody's really making it. So next thing you know, there's a lemon meringue seltzer coming out at a whopping 8%, and we're like, oh shit.
Yeah. So,
and I think I still have a can. I wish to God I remembered. I would have brought it with me. It's damn good. I think I still have a couple squirreled away
at this point. I would imagine
probably. I mean, I don't know how long seltzers last in a can, but I've got a few of them laying around, I think.
That sounds good.
Now, when do you start canning? When will can sales be available?
I was actually working today with the person doing one of the graphics, getting the beer description nailed down, and labels will go to the print shop. I've got 2 hammers back there ready to go, ready to be packaged. So I would say it could be the beginning of April.
Yeah, will it be just sales in the tap room, or will it be available in local retail shops?
For now, it'll be just tap room until we actually distribute. I may work with the distributor initially. There's some people out there that have licenses that I can use distribute.
Yeah,
which is great, I think, because there are times where you want to take something home, and if there's like limited availability.
It's one of those things, though. I wish to God in the state they could just sell right directly to mom and pop.
Yeah,
right.
Without having to go through,
separate business.
Cousin Joey over there that's got a distributing company that
everybody wants their.
We got to support these guys, and they take their cut, and this guy over here is left with a little crumb of the pie. So I get why a lot of people don't distribute. Especially in this state, anyway. I can definitely see why they don't do it. But I don't know.
We'll get there.
I was going somewhere else with that. Oh yeah, that's what it was. So your lager now. We've got a brilliant name now. The lager's coming. You need there's got to be at least a lager on there sometime, somewhere, some iteration. The lager's coming.
Or the
lager's here.
Yeah, the lager's here.
I see what you say. Yeah. I got that. This is why I don't do marketing for
here comes the lager.
Here comes the lager. Right, you're full of gems today. But as you could tell, mine are gone. They're all delicious. They were all fantastic. This Czech Pilsner. Oh my God, folks, get out here and try it. And if you haven't tried other styles of beers, please do. There's more out there than your standby.
Now,
You
do
know,
you have anything exciting coming up for, say, the springtime or summertime?
early summer. Now.
But, no.
Hey, and that's okay.
Just
Beer.
He's got beer. That's it.
yeah. There's a few beer events out there. We've done some.
Mhm.
It's not a something that we tend to get into too much. It doesn't.
But you guys are on the Labruski, which if during
no, actually, we're not.
oh no
No.
okay.
Yeah, no.
Strike that.
Yeah, it didn't turn into a big thing for us.
Yeah.
A lot of the events, like I looked at the metrics, and a lot of the events we did didn't turn into anything. It's great to go, people see you, but
if it's not equating to dollars,
there's no return on investment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The ROI is just not there. So
I'm not seeing a bump because of this. I'm not seeing a bump because of that.
Yeah.
So what we've done is focused more. This space is I do a lot of events.
Like
hosted events. Baby showers, wedding showers. We do graduation parties. We have Brown University. They come over here. They do a ton of events here.
now, is this area like available to rent?
Yep.
To okay, so you can do that, which is great because
everybody's looking for a venue.
Yeah.
Especially in the summertime.
Especially with beer.
It's
yeah.
It's small. It's inexpensive. We allow just about everything. We don't. It's not a lot of red tape for them to get in and bring things in, do what they want to do, and so it's grown like exponentially to the point that if I had another facility, I could fill that up too.
Wow. Damn.
You talk about McDonald's being a real estate company.
Yeah, no shit, right?
Is an event company.
Nice.
Nice.
Well, I mean, that speaks volume to one, the location and the space and your beers and everything else and the staff and everybody.
And in the summertime, it's a beautiful view of the waterfront if you're sitting outside.
Yep. And there is seating outside.
Yeah, it is. I mean, long term. I mean, if the events keep up and we keep filling the house every week with private parties, eventually we'll build this out and second floor with a roof deck. But
Nice.
that's what we're aiming at because we do have a great view.
Awesome.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Well, Ernie, I want to thank you so much for having us, for taking the time and talking with us today and sharing these wonderful, fantastic beers.
Yes.
Because let me tell you, and your stories, everything. Don't ever get rid of the Czech Pilsner.
Yeah, it's delicious.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even if the lager is coming, I don't want to.
I think you have to have. There are certain staples you have.
You have to have, and that's damn good. You can't hide behind a Czech Pilsner, folks. I'm sorry, you can't. If you make a bad one, it's a bad one.
Yeah, right.
Buddy, take us on out.
Right, okay. For the Greekiest man I know across the saying early for Ed Bad Knowing. For Ernie of Crook Point Brewing, thank you for having us again, sir. It's been Buddy there. 3 Dudes Brews. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Drink good beers
And drink local.
Cheers.
Cheers.